Well, we have seen some action here tonight, Neil. A 101-yard punt return by Winfield. A 61-yard pass to Chapdelaine for a touchdown. A 57-yarder to Winfield, all by Hamilton. Now a 67-yard bomb. Renfro to Daryl Smith for the Toronto Argonauts. And the convert by Chomik. And it's Hamilton 34, Toronto 21. And suddenly it's a 13-point game with 11 seconds left in the third quarter.
You're going to see why the pump fake goes. He's just going to break out a little bit. That pump fake is for the receiver coming back. But Smith, that's where he makes his difference. Brown just backs off just a hair. And once you do that, the receiver gets an opportunity to get to the outside. He doesn't. And when you've got the speed of Daryl Smith, if you're not in that hip pocket, you're in trouble.
Well, Neil, Daryl Smith just said we're not done yet. I believe that. I'll bet you do too.
Well, I think if you see what Daryl Smith just did, and you've got Jeff Boyd on the other side, you've got Fennerty in the backfield, how could you ever think a football team doesn't have a chance to come back? You know, they've just got too much talent.
And Ivor Wynne Stadium has become a more sane and quiet place these last couple of minutes as the Argos have continued to show their resiliency. Battle back. Winfield with a kickoff return. A big opening. Earl Winfield. He's going to score again. What an unbelievable night for Winfield.
The ball's kicked down to the right. You're going to watch. See, come down your lanes. Willie Pless. See the wedge come over in front of him. Kick out that gap. You've got three guys on two downfield. Now all there is Hank Lisick, and he's got to try to weave his way. He's playing catch-up right from the beginning. And, well, I don't know if you can have written a script any better for Earl Winfield than what's happened to him this evening.
Well, Neil, it was 20-1 for Hamilton at halftime. It is now 40-21 for the Ticats, and a convert by Osbaldiston will make it 41-21, which means we've seen 41 points in the third quarter. That was the last play of the third quarter, by the way. The convert tacked on, and with 3 quarters complete, it's been wild at Ivor Wynne. The Ticats lead by 20.
On that return, Winfield did a super job of coming straight up field and then picking his spot. Daryl Corbin right there, one linebacker to another. And this time, number 38 dominated 32. Look at this. He's going straight up now. He'll veer to his left. Follow that wedge that comes across. See Scott Flagel. That's set up. They have seen an area where they can return. We'll call it a soft spot. Made it a little softer. What a night he's having.
Oh, 3 touchdowns for Winfield and a lot of yards. Here's Fennerty on a first down carry. Nearly got through the middle untouched. Mike Walker was able to make contact, or Fennerty could have added 10 yards to that run. Well, Winfield had 2. He said 1 more and I have 3. Now he's talking 4. Well, Neil, the Argos have given up 41 points tonight, but they still have not allowed a rushing touchdown. I don't know if that makes them feel any better or not, but they've got that streak alive still. But their cracked special teams have been a disaster tonight. Here's a fumble, and the Argos have the ball. Willie Pless falls on it at the Hamilton 46, and Toronto now has a chance to get back into this game. This is a Foster's Lager telecast on the Canadian Football Network.
Well, the fumble, the momentum swings once again. Kerrigan never really gets it off his hip and is able to hand it off to Martin Sarton, I should say. You know, it seems like there's a couple of heavyweights exchanging blows here. One guy's going to give it back, the next guy's going to give it back. Big plays. I mean, this is a wild game.
Well, the Argos need a knockout to win, and they've got a chance after the Kerrigan fumble to score and get back in it. They're down by 20. Renfro gets the ball back on that little razzle-dazzle move. Long pass. Darryl Smith. And was it intercepted? I believe it was. Yes, Scott Flegel picked it off at the goal line.
Scott Flegel shows a little bit of his athletic ability here. You see him in the middle of your screen. He takes one side, and now he's going to turn and run. But part of the way when he's running, he's got his head turned. Right now, he's still running with his head turned. The last 5 steps, he's backpedaling.
And that pass by Renfro thrown into the wind, and the wind, I think, held it up. And it was wound up underthrown, and Scott Flegel picked it off. And you wonder how many times the Argos can bounce back after having the air let out of their comeback hopes, and that's has to be a major blow with the fumble by Kerrigan, and then on the very next play it's turned over back to Hamilton. Mike Walker with that big infectious smile of his, and he's beaming with what has transpired thus far this evening. But they're back at it now. There's Winfield with 133 yards on pass catches and over 200 yards on kick returns. And the Ticats in scoring range. 1st and 10 at the Toronto 26. Kerrigan has the ball, and he has Chapdelaine for a touchdown. What a gorgeous play that was. And it's 47-21 Hamilton.
Jacques Chapdelaine is the recipient of a Kerrigan pass, one that was so nicely done. And there's number 68, Glenn Kulka, who has been ejected from this football game. I always find it interesting when the visitor has been ejected, he has to pass by the home team's bench.
Glenn Kulka has just been thrown out for rough play, and he is some angry, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you can bet that he wasn't asking some of the Tiger Cats out for a beer after the game.
Earl Winfield has 397 yards in total yardage tonight. That includes punt and kickoff returns and pass receiving yardage. And Winfield will handle it again. That is 27 rather, and he's down very quickly at the 30. So we can add 3 yards to that and put Winfield at 400 yards in yardage. And after the game, we'll be choosing and talking to our CFN most valuable player. I think Earl Winfield's name might come up for some discussion.
No, really?
Well, yeah, I think it might. You'd also have to look at Mike Kerrigan, wouldn't you, Neil? He's had quite a night.
Yeah, it's and then if you want to take it another step further, why not the offensive line? They bring into this game the fewest sacks allowed. That number's 19, and he can't throw the ball. Winfield can't catch it if they don't protect him.
And we have 2:53 left in the 4th quarter at Ivor Wynne. 49-21 Hamilton. This CFN game is brought to you by Foster's Lager. Captain Scott Denneker and cameraman Serge Spatafora giving us this view from the OV Skyship. At the beginning of the telecast, we talked about Mike Kerrigan through the air against Gil Finnerty on the ground as one of the interesting comparisons going into this game. Well, Kerrigan has held the upper hand, although Finnerty has also had a good night. But Kerrigan's over 400 yards in passing, and Jed Tommy has another Hamilton touchdown. And it's 55-21 Hamilton.
Bob, that was just a nice job done by Jed Tommy, flying in there, but keeping his eyes open. See, he runs into a real wall. He just adjusts, slides laterally to his left, smells that goal line, and gets over. And
as I said, Gil Finnerty has had that's a pretty good night. Certainly not as spectacular as the 215 he had last week, but you're not going to do that every week. Here's a touchdown pass to Jeff Boyd from Gil Renfro. Boyd has also had a good evening on a night where many players have had good to great statistical evenings, and that makes it 56-27 for Hamilton. Well, it was all Hamilton at Ivor Wynne Stadium tonight. A resounding 56-28 win over the Toronto Argonauts, and our CFN most valuable player, Earl Winfield of the Ticats, who returned 2 kicks for touchdowns, both of them 100 yards. This one was a kickoff return in the third quarter after Toronto had just scored to maybe get themselves back in the game a little bit, and this really took the wind out of their sails. Earl Winfield, congratulations. What I want to know is, after a night like this, are you exhausted, or are you still so high on adrenaline that you feel like you could go out and play another game?
Yeah, I'm pretty exhausted. Who am I talking to?
It's Bob Irving.
Hey, Bob. Yeah, I'm pretty exhausted. I noticed on the screen you had 400 yards total offense. That's a lot of running, and yeah, my legs are pretty tired.
Earl, did you do anything special on special teams against the Argos who play them so well?
No, not really. We just, we only had 2 days of rest, and we had to hurry up and get ready fast for these guys. Bob, I got to give most of my credit to the other 11 guys that was on the field. They made some great blocks, and it made my job a lot easier running the ball back.
Well, they really did. Earl, did the Ticats go out tonight with a feeling in their minds that they had something to prove to the Argos and maybe to people around the CFL?
Yeah, Bob, you look around the CFL, and Edmonton and BC and Toronto, they're getting all the credit, and it look like everybody's forgetting about the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Bob, we got a great team, and right now I think we're even getting better, and hopefully next week we'll be even a little bit better.
We talk about your kick return exploits. Mike Kerrigan was hot tonight.
Oh yeah, Mike, I told him as we was coming off the field that he looked like a general. He really gave us great leadership, and the offensive line, they gave him time to throw the ball, and it was just a team effort. Special teams, defense, offense.
Earl, go and celebrate a great night. Earl Winfield, our CFN most valuable player, and our post-game coverage on CFN continues in a moment.